Wow, absolutely incredible night of racing today. I didn't even plan on just being in front of camera and making a video. I was going to go over the starting grid. I had this whole plan, thought out of how I was going to, do this video for tonight, what I was going to, talk. I had everything set and planned, and then the A-Main happened tonight, and oh my gosh, the whole week has just been flipped upside down. Because of tonight, and it's just, we have to talk about that. So basically I'm going to go, talk about some of the things that happened tonight that are absolutely huge for the weekend, and then I'm going to talk about some guys that kind of came on strong this week that I, really want to point out, and some guys that I'm feeling really good about that could be favorites to win the A-Main. And then at the end of the video, I'll be going over the starting grid for the A-Main event on Saturday, because keep in mind we do have 16 entries locked in to the A-Main event, the championship 50-lap A-Main event. There's also 10 drivers who are locked in or taking the top 10 spots of the B-Main on Saturday, and then the rest of the guys are going back tomorrow for the Hard Knocks. And before I really get into things, I just want to excuse the poor audio in this video. My external mic decided to crap itself. So if it does sound bad, which I'm not sure as I'm recording this, please excuse that. But anyways, let's talk about tonight real quick. Just, wow. It is 3 a.m. as I'm recording this. I'm committed to staying up to 4 or 5 a.m., whatever I have to do. But I mean, wow. So where do we even start? So the feature, obviously, tonight we got, a little delayed because of rain. That's why. And then the A-Main took an hour to complete. It took probably 3 attempts to get a green flag lap in. So really from the beginning, Shane Stewart, that was the first yellow. Parker Price Miller had a huge crash, again on lap 1. Thankfully he's okay. I'll probably put that crash in the video. You'll see how big of a, oh man, absolutely insane. I'm so glad that Parker Price Miller is okay. He did walk away, but I mean that might be the end of his weekend. We'll have to see. But just thankful that he walked away. That was just absolutely huge blow. Then we get into the next restart, and this was huge. This was the biggest, probably. We might look back on this after the B-Main on Saturday, or just at some point, and this might be the defining moment of the week. So everyone's favorite going in right now, I would say Carson Macedo is probably heavily talked the most as the favorite to win the Knoxville Nationals. He's in the Jason Johnson racing car, won 3 out of the last 5 years, just swept in June when the World of Outlaws last visited Knoxville, and they were just the odds. They're just the odds-on favorite. Everyone, including myself in my video the other day, odds-on favorite. And Paul McMahon, Carson Macedo just went into turn 3. Neither gave an inch, and Macedo just ended up, getting bit. He owned up to the accident being his fault. Just kind of gap closed, and he was on the berm. Got into McMahon, and scary crash. Collected a few other big contenders. Sammy Swindell ended up getting to the end of that. He didn't have a good qualifying run. He did win a heat tonight, so Sammy, he if he would have had a good finish in the main, probably could have had a good points night. But he obviously had a fast-ish car under him, so that was a huge blow to Swindell. Kerry Madsen, a favorite, he finished second to Macedo in June, and Kerry Madsen was really looking like a really strong pick, kind of a good dark horse. If you wanted to look smart, you'd probably pick Kerry Madsen. So he was involved. Just a bunch of heavy hitters. Brad Sweet barely made it out. Kyle Larson barely made it out. They both got lucky, especially Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson got, man, he came so close to being caught up in that. We'll talk about Larson in a minute here. He was a part of the action tonight that made tonight so huge. And then we get further into the main event. It wasn't just this big crash taking out Macedo. You get into the race itself. Tonight, Kyle Larson actually had to come from the B-Main. Didn't advance from his heat race. Had to go through the B-Main. Started in the back of the A-Main. Finished this race in second. Just absolutely incredible. Kyle Larson, it can't be stated enough how just incredible this guy is. Brian Brown did end up winning tonight, and man, okay, number one, awesome for Brian Brown. That was just did exactly what he needed to do. He's going to be in the top 16. Kyle Larson got his way into the top 16. If he just had a little bit better of a qualifying run, or if he would have gotten more points in the heat race, he could have he had the A-Main to be able to start take the pole or in second. But I mean he's going to be starting in a good spot on Saturday, as you'll see later in the video when I go over the starting grid. And this could be his year. He looks really strong, and I mean he was one of the 5 guys that I mentioned in my video earlier this week. That I mean, man, he's this is one of the last races that he hasn't won. One of the last big races he hasn't won yet, and man, he's already won the Chili Bowl this year. Already won the King's Royal, and man, what type of crown jewel triple header, triple crown type deal is this turning into for Kyle Larson if he can pull it off? So enough about Larson. The other guys who could have possibly contended for the pole tonight was Tyler Courtney and Brad Sweet. They got into it in the A-Main, and Tyler Courtney actually ended up having to DNF tonight. Just not sure on what happened to him exactly, but just insane night, right? He ended up having to DNF, but I do think, even though he DNF'd, he got enough points. Hot Laps qualified second tonight, my bad. So he did get enough points to make it into the A-Main, so he is locked. And even though he DNF'd tonight, he's definitely a guy that I think is going to be a very strong contender to win the Knoxville Nationals, which is crazy because I don't think he actually. I think he competed in 19. I know that he won the C-Main, but he doesn't have an A-Main start to his name, and he actually only won his first ever World of Outlaws race at the King's Royal. So I mean, the second win, could it be a crown jewel? I'm keep saying crown jewel. I'm coming from the open wheel IndyCar world here, NASCAR world, the granddaddy of them all, the Knoxville Nationals. What am I saying? Anyways, Tyler Courtney is a guy that could very well get it done. Probably tonight really turned up as one of the big favorites. I think everyone kind of had a good feeling about him, but I think now that kind of solidifies how good he really is. Getting into more guys that I think kind of turned up this week that we need to talk about is Brad Sweet. I mean, I could have put him in my top 5 in the video I did earlier this week. That would have been an easy one. But I mean, I wasn't sure, and I'm kind of poking I'm kind of just I don't know what I was thinking. I think Brad Sweet probably. There's just so many favorites. It's so hard to pick, but I mean, he's definitely he's got it in him to win. He's definitely, but when I kind of think of this philosophy when you think of going into the Indy 500, is Brad Sweet, going to be good enough to beat Larson, or is he going to be good enough to beat, really the front running guys all week? He finished, I think, 4th tonight. He did okay, qualified okay, in the top 5. But I mean, if Brad Sweet does win this race, I'll say this right now. If Brad Sweet wins this race, it's going to be because he came on strong in the last 15 to 10 laps. He's not going to be a front runner in the beginning, I would say. He's going to come on strong at the end of the race. That's what I'll say about Brad Sweet. But yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, not putting him in my top 5. The last driver I really want to talk about tonight that just came on strong. He probably would have, just like these 3 guys, Courtney, Sweet, and Gio Scelzi, the next driver I want to talk about. They probably would have been my 6th, 7th, and 8th picks if I would have done 8 drivers instead of 5 in the first video I did. Because Gio Scelzi just came off winning the 360 Nationals at Knoxville last week. He runs at Knoxville quite a lot, and he's very good at Knoxville. And he's on the pole for the Knoxville Nationals, as you'll see in a few moments when I go over the starting grid. But he showed up this week. Just did everything he needed to do. Didn't win the A-Main last night. Might have won his heat. Didn't qualify quick time. He just did exactly what he needed to do. And starting on the pole, I don't know. But I have this like really good feeling about Gio, right? But at the same time, I think about Gio, and is he going to be there in the last 10 laps? You know, it's a 50-lap race, and the track's going to be totally different in the second half of the race than it will be in the first half, the first 25 laps before the mid break. And I just think about Gio, and I'm just like, is he going to be there in the end? Is the real question. I mean, there are guys possibly going to be starting in the back who could win this race, and that's what makes the Knoxville Nationals so great. Before I get into the starting grid, quick reminder, the top 16 are locked into the A-Main event. They are good to go. That's what I'll be showing you next. And then the next 10 drivers in the points in the combined 2 days will have the first 10 spots in the B-Main, and then the rest of the guys are going to be in the Hard Knocks Friday. And real quick before I go to the starting grid, I do want to comment on the format really quick because this is my first time really seeing it all in action play out. On paper, honestly, and still, this is probably one of the best dirt racing formats there is. My only complaint would probably be the top 8 invert. And my second complaint would be that the top 10 after the top 16 go to the B-Main and don't get to come back tomorrow. Those are my only 2 complaints. Number 1, the top 8 invert kind of sucks because it's like when you're running the heats, the track is so new that it's like you're really putting those guys in a hole. Once the start happens, you know, unless there's another yellow and, you know, someone gets lucky, like a Tyler Courtney or Macedo, then they might like literally go to the B-Main. And I know that's kind of the point in challenging, you know, the fastest guys. But I mean, I think it's a little much, if you know what I mean. It's a little too much to penalize someone for qualifying really well, is kind of the way I see it. And then my second complaint about the top 10, I mean, so the B-Main takes 4 spots, right? And the Hard Knocks event takes 4 straight to the A. If you're not in the top 16, you would almost, in my view, you know, kind of rather be 11 spots behind. You know, you'd rather be like 27th or 28th, right? Because then you can come back tomorrow, and you would have, the way the format is now, you would, you know, have a slightly less, you know, competitive field to go against, per se. You know, because if you're like a 17th place car, but you kind of just made sure you made it to the Hard Knocks, you see what I mean? I don't really know how I feel about that. I feel like everyone not in the top 16 should be able to come back tomorrow. I don't know, but let me know what you think about the format. Let me know if I'm wrong. I'd definitely like to hear your opinion on the format down below in the comments. And now, without further ado, here is the starting grid, the first 8 rows of the 60th running of the Knoxville Nationals. Here is your starting lineup. Starting 16th on the outside of row number 8 will be Danny Dietrich. Starting 15th on the inside of row number 8 will be Justin Peck. Starting 14th on the outside of row number 7 will be Justin Henderson. And starting 13th on the inside of row number 7 will be James McFadden. Starting 12th on the outside of row number 6 will be King Sunshine Tyler Courtney. And on the inside of row number 6, starting 11th, will be Brooke Tatnell. On the outside of row number 5, starting 10th, the 49X of Ian Madsen. And on the inside of row number 5, starting 9th, will be Blackjack Brian Brown. On the outside of row number 4, starting 8th, will be Logan Schuhart. And on the inside, starting 7th, will be Casey Kane. On the outside of row number 3, starting 6th, will be David Gravel. And on the inside of row number 3, starting 5th, will be Donnie Schatz, the 10-time champion. On the outside of row number 2, starting 4th, will be the Myerstown Missile, Brent Marks. And on the inside of row number 2, starting 3rd, will be Young Money Kyle Larson. And now, for your front row, starting 2nd, on the outside will be the Big Cat, Brad Sweet. And on the inside, your pole sitter And winner of last week's 360 Nationals will be none other than Hot Sauce Giovanni Scelzi. That is your starting lineup for the top 16 locked-in spots after the prelim nights on Thursday. Tomorrow, everyone outside of the top 27 will go to the Hard Knocks Friday event. That is the set lineup for Saturday thus far. All we have to go is tomorrow's Friday Hard Knocks event at the Knoxville Raceway, and I will not be making a video on that as I will be preparing to travel to be present at the Knoxville Nationals on Saturday to bring you a video after the race has concluded, and hopefully I'll get that video up right after the race ends as soon as I can. So as always, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button for more motorsports content just like this. And if you like this video, make sure you leave a like. It really helps me out a lot, helps grow the channel, helps me out a ton. So with all that said, thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.